Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan of the Chart Guys checking in on crypto. First, let's look at the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ is testing a key support right now. If we lose the low of last Thursday, the daily uptrend breaks and we say this is different than what we've seen the last 3 weeks of trading. So that will tell us that there's a shift underway and weekly consolidation will then be underway. So we'll be paying attention to that with regards to crypto. Bitcoin is definitely holding on better. We had that bull break, got up over 30,000. From the last video that we made, we were just hitting that 30,000 level, and we got a daily inside bar currently. So if this inside bar forms and then breaks bear, we're going to look for a daily higher low, anything above 27.7 thousand, and we'll be watching our back burners, which are definitely on the menu right now. We can see on Trader Pro here, we just had a 15-minute oversold back burner on Bitcoin. That led to the local low at that point. We then had the bull reaction to CPI, and worst case scenario, if entering on 15-minute oversold, you stop out break even. And so what that now means is we go to the next time frame. It's just the zoom out game. First it was 5-minute oversold, then it was 15-minute oversold. You can see first 5-minute oversold worked out where we hit it, and then we followed through to a higher high. Granted, no follow through, but again, clearly these bounces are working in this market environment. So the 5-minute happened, then it was the 15-minute. Now we're watching the hourly. So if Bitcoin starts daily consolidation, we look for first hourly oversold conditions to try and mark a daily higher low. For now, bulls are trying to hold the low of the day and break 30.1 thousand to confirm an hourly uptrend and try and regain some control here. It was a profit-taking day in our crypto miners. They've been on absolute fire. And again, there's, I don't want to take people away from crypto, but if you are just a trader and you're looking for trading instruments, the zero fees in the US and the fact that Riot has outperformed Bitcoin over the last 3 days by, a magnitude of something like 5 times the upside. And even the pullbacks, great volatility. It's just something to keep an eye on. There's pros and cons, right? So the pros are fee-free in the US, tons of volume, tons of liquidity. And again, you can market buy and sell 6 figures for free, whereas if you do that most anywhere else, you're going to be paying 4 figures in fees. The downsides are you don't trade overnight. So if Bitcoin moves with a lot of volatility and you're holding one of these stocks overnight, then obviously your hands are tied, and that's big risk. So as far as day trading goes, it's definitely, in my opinion, it's a better instrument, and it has, the volatility that is like a magnified version, a leveraged version of Bitcoin, or like an extremely volatile altcoin. So just some questions to ask yourself as far as positives and negatives of what to trade. But it's a bearish reversal candle, and again, just might be time for some daily consolidation here. Riot hourly lower high just set. Bears need to break the low of the day to confirm the hourly downtrend. The dominance chart continues to get our attention. So right now the dominance is pulling back a bit, and what we all want to know is, can Bitcoin trade sideways around 30,000 and allow for altcoins to get a turn and to see profits rotate around within the cryptocurrency sector? That would be ideal for everybody involved. Even if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you definitely want Bitcoin to keep leading the way, but if you see the altcoins perform, if you see money rotating around, giving them a little bit of a turn, it's positive for the space overall. More people talk about it, social media gets engaged, the exchanges see more volume and more, money playing around, and it's a good thing. Just like, if the broader stock market, if Apple's going up, great, but if it's only Apple, it's a lot different than if it's the entire market. So if you are a crypto bull, you want to see the entire market going up. So dominance chart, again, highlighted last video, the importance of these long-term levels as the bulls try and get to the highest dominance that we've seen in almost 2 years, and knocking on the door here. And we're just going to treat it like a daily uptrend. Weekly bull flag confirmed. We're going to look for a daily higher low, anything above 46.77. But let's see if we get a shift. A little bit of a shift took place already, just in the sense that some of these alts were really beat up. ETH BTC hit a fresh low with no follow through, but it was the weakest that ETH has been to BTC since back in July of 2022. So essentially 8 months. But when we hit that, we were in absolute extremes. This was a really good stair step. 4-hour stair step, absolutely crushed. And when that stair step broke bull, we got some nice follow through. And so ETH got that nice big bounce in response. So big pullback, potential equilibrium, but a big bounce in response to ETH BTC bouncing. So we held support of 1847. Now we failed resistance of 1939. And let's see if we form a 4-hour equilibrium into tomorrow. We would need to see, what do we need to see for a 4-hour lower high to be set? We need to see a loss of the 15-minute uptrend, which we did just see. So this candle is going to close within an hour. It's going to be an inside bar. And if that inside bar breaks bear, 4-hour equilibrium will be on watch. Definitely resistance on ETH here. We got an uptrending resistance line we could be keeping an eye on. Look at this long-term one. How many times have we hit that? Could draw an uptrending support line like that. Potential rising wedge to be keeping an eye on. But if this were going to be a rising wedge, we would need to see Bitcoin start daily consolidation, and we would need to see ETH BTC be a daily bear flag, which is possible. All RSI levels have cooled off, but something to keep an eye on. Again, it's, we got a daily uptrend that's very clear, and we keep holding daily EMA 12. So it's the kind of thing where I see that, but I want to put on my bear glasses and just say, I don't want to be blindsided by anything. I want to be looking at things from the perspective of bulls and the perspective of bears, just so I'm ready for, ideally, anything with how it shapes up. So ETH BTC from this point, if this move is going to be more than just an oversold bounce, we have to see a 4-hour trend change. And we've got this fundamental event. What is it? A Shanghai update, Shanghai upgrade. I think that's taking place tomorrow. Either way, something to be aware of, but have to see a 4-hour trend change confirm on ETH BTC if this is going to be anything more than just cooling off RSI. Trends are the name of the game, as we know. So Litecoin talked about how bears want to see a bull break with no follow through to be looking short in Litecoin, and didn't get a second chance. The ideal second chance would have been hold 4-hour EMA 12 and scout the lower high. But aggressive bears that either bought, or I should say shorted the bull break or shorted the loss of the 4-hour stair step, it worked out really well. And so at this point, if I am a bear in that scenario, I've sold enough to be risk-free. I sell enough, whether it's a third of my position or half my position, I stick my stop over 97.05 and I can't lose. We are still in a daily uptrend, which is why I would take partial profit, because if we hold 89.14, the daily uptrend remains intact. But a nice short for the bears, and again, talking in the video yesterday or 2 days ago, last crypto video, talking about how you can be bullish Bitcoin, but looking to hedge with these weaker altcoins and still scouting bearish entries because of how much weaker they are comparatively. And we know any little consolidation in Bitcoin, unless something drastically shifts with the dominance, any consolidation in Bitcoin is going to be magnified by a lot of these coins. And so LTC, BTC, again, the ideal scenario was form a little higher low into a bounce, set the lower high on the US dollar bull break with no follow through, and then drop to break this tightening range bearish. So it really played out to a T as far as laying out the game plan of this would be the ideal scenario if this trade is going to come to me. And can't short crypto, so made $0. But I know one of you out there shorted LTC on the bull break with no follow through and made some money. So it was worth it. Doge, we talked about looking for Doge's daily lower high. Why? Because it was a pump and dump with the Elon Musk shenanigans. And we know a daily lower high is the most likely scenario. So the stair step on the bounce broke bear at 835, and then we dropped down fairly quickly to test the low of 8 pennies. And so that's a quick 3% drop. Not huge, but again, just a nice little win. So a little red flag in the sense that we didn't break support Obviously, the confirmed bear flag would make bears a lot more comfortable. So if a bear is going to remain comfortable, gotta drop down and break that 8 penny double bottom. So again, same thing. Ideally, selling partial and putting a stop over the high to lower that risk and see if that trade can play out for some follow through. Looks like we got a little bit more weakness. QQQ's testing the low of the day. And Bitcoin. Again, just always checking, how is Bitcoin faring comparatively? And we're not close to the low of that pullback, but definitely some downward pressure if the broader market's going to be weak. So we got the Doge lower high. So Sol bulls showed up in a big way 2 days ago. Look at that volume. Look at the volume the last few days here on Binance. 1.6, 1.2, 1.6 million. So essentially a 1.2, 1.3 million average the last 5 days. And then you get a day where you go 500% that volume. And then the next day, more than that. This looks like potentially front running the FTT news. And the FTT news is, hey, we've recovered 7 billion in assets. We might reopen again in Q2. And, I've never traded on FTX, but I've watched it. I've watched other people trade with it. And their platform is the best crypto trading platform that there is as far as functionality, user friendliness, the ability to place stops right on the chart. It was just the most advanced. And so it would be nice for it to be back. And obviously, if people get their money back, that would be great as well. I would anticipate the money's gone. Definitely. It's always a lot easier when you're not emotionally attached to it. And then you just get a bonus. Same thing with my long-term no-touch crypto. It's all zero. And if in a decade I sell it for something, then it's a bonus. So Sol, 4-hour uptrend guide. Back burners are on the table. Have we hit 5-minute oversold to mark that hourly high or low? We did. So 5-minute oversold. Big bounce, 4% plus bounce from 5-minute oversold conditions. So again, we use that up now. Next is the 15-minute oversold, watching for a 4-hour higher low. And bulls need to be a bit cautious because this is a rising wedge potentially shaping up here. And if this rising wedge breaks bear, 4-hour consolidation will very likely be underway. And here's FTT responding to the news after Sol got its pump. So FTT, huge candle, big volume. This is on KuCoin. Hourly in a stair step, 30-minute in a stair step. And looking like we may be reaching a temporary top, just as far as bulls being a bit exhausted on that push, but a very quick 100% move. So some nice volatility. If you're trading FTT and SOL, obviously you've got to be keeping an eye on this news. Overall, still a good bit of weak crypto out there. Remember OMG? Why in the world is OMG pumping? That doesn't make any sense. Well, makes a lot more sense when you give everything back. Clearly a lead bear over the last couple of weeks. APT daily consolidation underway. XRP potentially losing daily EMA 12. Got to be watching closely. So again, there's still a lot of weakness in these altcoins compared to Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin starts daily consolidation, got to be cautious of these alts seeing another leg down. Best case scenario is Bitcoin sideways range and dominance dropping for altcoins to see a little bit of life. Feel free to ask any questions. I appreciate you tuning in. I'll go back to the live streams as soon as I get my internet upload speed back to where it should be. Got supervisor number 3 coming out today. I hope you do good things.